And hello from Merton Park. We want to show you today what life was like in a Viking Longhouse about 1,000 years ago. You're probably spending quite a bit of time in your home at the moment. Obviously, I don't know what your house is like, but I can make a few assumptions. I'm going to look at what the Vikings may have done in their home. Here we have the fire where the cooking would take place. I will be honest, this cooking pot is a little bit high status for the average Viking. And the benches you've seen as we came in around, they are where people would sit and where people would sleep as well. Right, now I'm going to take my seat. I have the best spot here by the fire, keep myself nice and warm. So what I would like to do is go through rooms you may have in your house at home. I know your houses are all not the same, and have a look at what the Vikings did. So first of all, one room a Viking would not have in their home is a toilet or a bathroom. That's something they didn't do in their house at home. As you'll see on the video with Leaf, their toilets were a hole in the ground with a bench next to it. One big difference between the Vikings and us is the idea of privacy. Modern people going to the toilet, getting changed, having a bath tends to be a private thing. For the Vikings, it's just another part of life. Okay? It could be outside in your garden, it's just the way it was. And in terms of washing, the Vikings were relatively clean. They washed once a week if they needed to or not. Which might not sound like much, but in comparison to possibly the Anglo-Saxons or others around, it was quite clean for the time. And they combed their hair and their beards and they were plaited, things like that. But that would take place outside, most likely in a lake or a river nearby. So the other rooms would be in here. So a bedroom. You've got bedrooms at home. You may share with brothers or sisters, a very Viking thing to do. The bedroom is in here. There is a bed just behind me here. The curtains are not there for privacy, all right? They're there to keep the warmth in, and the benches along the sides are where other people would sleep. Generally, we think the more important you were, the nearer you were to the fire, okay? We don't necessarily know that, but it is an assumption we've made. Also, you sleep close together, keep yourself warm. Anyone who has been camping before knows how important it is to get yourself wrapped up, to keep yourself warm, close together. In terms of sleeping, some of you may have pets at home. The Vikings did keep dogs for hunting, but it's not just pets you may have in your home. You may have animals in here. Definitely chickens walking around. Possibly something bigger. Maybe sheep. Imagine this. It's 10 at night, you're starting to go to sleep, and you hear the noise. The sheep making a mess on your floor. But at this time, if the sheep were left outside, people may steal them. I know food shortages are a bit of an issue at the moment as well, but as a Viking you bring them inside, possibly keep them safe. Okay? This house is a larger house and does have a barn attached at the back where livestock may be kept. Also, this is a living room. Now in your living room at home, you probably watch TV. Maybe something you might class as an adventure. Maybe your grown-ups especially might watch the soaps, EastEnders, Coronation Street. They are often about friends and families arguing. Well, the Vikings loved a good disagreement, a good argument. The Vikings loved a strange land, monsters, adventures. But it's not a box in the corner of a room. What it is a story being told. They call them sagas. We are hoping to film some sagas for you to see. But maybe, as a bit of an activity, you could tell each other stories. Make them exciting, add your own bits to them. That's what the Vikings did. When they were stuck in their houses in winter, they told exciting stories. I'm sure you could do that to entertain each other at the moment, especially. It's also a dining room. We eat on our knee like you're always told not to. Okay, some of the bigger halls may have had tables as well. Alright. It sort of got an attic, really. It's all in one room, but we do store things above. You might not be able to quite see it, but the fire is creating lots of smoke. We could store food in the roof. It smokes the food. anyone who's eaten smoky bacon, smoked salmon, smoked ham, smoked cheese, in the modern world we might do that because we like the flavour. As a Viking, that can preserve your food. So a fish we've caught that might last a couple of days could now last for months and months if you smoke it. So all the building is used. Now, there's one major room I've not mentioned yet, and that is the kitchen, the heart of the home. The fire is here, as you can see. This is for warming our home, but also for cooking food. There is some bread cooking beside the fire. Very simple Viking bread. We'll have more of a discussion about that later on in a further video. You can cook meat, fish, all sorts down here. And it is the heat of the stones. The fire warms the stones and the stones can cook the food. The stones around the edge also stop the fire from spreading. Alright, wooden buildings is a serious problem when fires spread. But there is another way to cook. Now, to be honest, as I mentioned, this cooking pot is a little bit expensive. It's made of iron. Down here, I have a wooden bucket. Now, I have water in my bucket. I want to boil it. It could be stew. It could be porridge. No sugar in your porridge, by the way. I can't put the wooden bucket on the fire. It will burn. I can't put the fire in the water. It will go out. But the Vikings were very clever people, and don't forget it. When my fire was made, something was put in it, a stone. I'm going to use metal tongs made by our local blacksmith to pick a stone out of the fire. Now this stone, not this one, this stone has been absorbing the heat of the fire. Now listen carefully to this. So steam is coming off the top of the water and it is boiling it. Now at home, if you go to your grown-ups, I'm thirsty, I'd like a hot drink, put the kettle on. Now the word for bucket, as a Viking, is kettle. Alright, lots of words we use today come from the past. Now I'll tell you why I've shown you this. A lot of people, we have visitors here, they say, those Vikings, they're stupid. They don't have cars or planes or football or whatever. They're not. That is a clever thing to do. Someone showed me how to do it. Most Viking men could build a house. Most Viking women could take a sheep and make clothing. They are not stupid and never think they are. It's a different world that they were in. And we often ask children, do you think you could live as a Viking? We get a lot of hands up saying yes. I have a very strange job, I know that. And I do not think I could live as a Viking. We would get used to the cold, the hunger. But each other can be quite difficult. We're probably finding that at the moment as we're spending more time at home. Alright? It's a very Viking thing to live together all the time. So it would have been difficult, and we know it's difficult for ourselves now, but it's something Vikings did, and I think they'd be glad to be together. It was a very dangerous world out there as a Viking, and living in one home together is something I'm sure they'd be happy to do. Thank you for that. If there are any questions, please do pop them in the comments below, and we will do our best to answer them, and we'll get as many videos out as we can. So thank you.